Hello students, I hope all of you are fine and safe at home. I Anu welcome you all to this online class of subject computers for class 7th. Today we are going to discuss part 3 of lesson 1 hardware and software. Before that, let us have a quick review of what we have learned in the previous presentation of this chapter. In that presentation, we have already discussed about what is hardware, what are the physical components that comprises of the hardware, input devices and output devices. I hope all of you have went through the content and done your homework. So now let us check all the answers to the questions that I have already given you in the previous presentation. Now let us have at the answers. Answer 1 hardware and software. Answer 2 input device help us to enter the data into computer. Example scanner. It could be any example, it could be keyboard or mouse, any input device. Answer 3 memory card. Answer 4 webcam. Answer 5 monitor and speaker. Answer 6 is true. Answer 7 drum plotter, flatbed plotter, inkjet plotter. Answer 8 projector. I hope all of you might have checked your answers. Now let us go to the topic for today first, that is again a part of the hardware only. As the name indicates, the processing devices, they help to process the data that we have entered into the computer and convert it into information. So the main role in processing device, it is of CPU. The CPU, it is also called as central processing unit, is the brain of the computer. It makes the calculations and processes the data into information. It controls all input and output devices. So all these are the important functions of central processing unit which help it to convert the data into the information. But CPU alone cannot all cannot do all these things, so it comprises of three main units. The first important unit is ALU, which stands for Arithmetic and Logic Unit. The second is CU, Control Unit. And third is MU, Memory Unit. So all these three units along with CPU help us to process the data. Now in my next slide, that data is basically going into the CPU, which comprises of control unit, arithmetic logic unit and memory unit. So all these together help to process the data and finally it deliver it to the output devices. I hope it might be clear to you. Moving on further, we are going to study about each function of control unit, arithmetic logic unit and memory unit. Now let us move further. CPU. CPU I've already discussed. It is also called the central processing unit. It is the processor or brain of the computer. Next we have ALU. ALU stands for Arithmetic Logic Unit. Arithmetic means that it can perform all the mathematical operations like we have addition, subtraction, multiplication. All the arithmetic operations are performed by ALU unit, and L stands for logical. So all the logical operations are performed by the arithmetic and logic unit. Now what is the function of control unit? It controls all the operations of the computer. And third is the memory unit. Memory unit, it is used to receive, hold and deliver the data as per the instruction from the control unit. So whatever the instructions the memory unit is getting from the control unit, based on that it performs the operation on the data. If it receives, hold and deliver the data as per the instruction from the control unit. I hope it might be clear to all of you. Now, moving on to the next slide we have. So that has come to the end of that topic, processing devices. Now, moving on further, we have storage devices. Storage devices, as the name indicate, what do we mean by storage device? Storage device, they help us, it is also called as computer memory. It is used to store data and information. Okay, so computer also has a memory to store things. That is done by the storage device of the computer. Now the computer memory is divided into two parts. We have primary memory and we have secondary memory. In the primary memory, we have RAM and ROM. RAM stands for random access memory and ROM stands for read-only memory. While we talk of secondary memory or external or auxiliary memory, in that we can have hard disk, we can have any of the external storage device, we can have compact disk, we can have pen drive. All those external devices which are used for storage, they come under secondary memory. Now let us see what is the difference between primary and secondary memory of computers. There are two types of computer memory, primary memory and secondary memory. This I've already told you. Primary memory, it consists of RAM and ROM. Again, I'm telling you, RAM is random access memory and ROM is read-only memory. It is also called as the volatile memory of the computer. As the data that we store in primary memory, it is not permanent in nature. It is temporary in nature. Secondary memory is permanent and it is also called as the non-volatile memory. Why? Because whatever data we are storing in the secondary memory, that is permanent. It cannot be lost or it cannot be deleted until we have done it manually. Now let us have the comparison between primary and secondary memory. Primary memory, it is also known as internal memory. Secondary memory, it is also known as additional or auxiliary memory. It is volatile in nature, primary memory. I have told you, volatile means that the data in that remains temporary. It is not permanent in nature. Okay. Secondary memory, it is always non-volatile in nature. That is the data that is stored in secondary memory. It is permanent in nature. Primary memory, it is directly accessed by the processing unit. So the processing unit, that is CPU, can directly access the primary memory. While secondary memory, it is not directly accessed by the processor. Then how it is done? First, the data from the secondary memory goes into primary memory and then that data is then accessed by the processing unit. So it is not directly accessed by the secondary memory cannot be directly accessed by the processor. It first goes into primary memory, then it is accessed by the processor. Then fourth topic is it is costlier than the secondary memory. Primary memory is costlier than the secondary memory and secondary memory is cheaper than the primary memory. So that was all about the memory or the storage device of a computer. Now moving on further. So that has led to the end of hardware topic. Now we have software. What is software? Regarding hardware, I have already told you hardware can be seen or touched. But while we talk of software, software cannot be seen or touched. Instead, it refers to a set of programs that control hardware to make them operate. The software is a set of programs which control the hardware so that they can function properly. Now software is divided into two parts. We have system software and we have application software. System software performs basic functions that are important to operate a computer system. System software means what is a basic necessity, what is a basic software that help our computer to work properly. So that is system software. Example, we have operating system. Without operating system, our computer cannot work. So that is a part of system software. While we talk of application software, it comprises of those set of programs that are used to do specialized tasks, including spreadsheets. That means these are some special softwares which are installed in our computer to do specialized things. Like we have spreadsheets. Spreadsheets we can access only if we have MS Excel. If we have MS Excel in our in our computer, or we have other softwares also, like we have Viskelec, Lotus 123. They all help us to create these spreadsheets. But that is a particular application of that, right? So application means what specializes that software to do that particular thing. So that is an application. App, you already understand that word better. App, you are installing different app in your in your smartphones also. So similarly, that is an application software. So different apps are specialized in different things. So similarly, we can have application software in our computer also to do different tasks. Right now we have the data system. In a computer database, the data is stored in the form of bits and bytes. Now we all know that we are storing our content, we are storing our data in computer. Is that so or not? So how it is stored? Computer data means all the content that is stored in computer, it is stored in the form of bits and bytes. Very important. Bit. First is bit. Bit is a short form of the binary digit, and it uses the digit 0 and 1 only. 0 stands for off, 1 stands for on. Next is byte. 8 bits together form a byte, right? So 8 bits together, they form a byte. A byte of data is stored by the 8 bits together, they form a byte. So a byte of data is stored by the bit patterns. So together the bits, they constitute a byte. Okay, so that byte of data is stored by bit patterns. So one of such pattern is ASCII, ASCII, which stands for American Standard Code for Information Interchange. American Standard Code for Information Interchange. Now we have field. Field, it basically refers to the collection of bytes. The collection of bytes is referred to as field. Okay, it includes the information about a particular thing. Example, we have the name of the bank, so that is a field of the bank. Okay, it might be having the collection of bytes in that. Now we have a record. A record is an account of something that can be used in the future. Like we have the name of our friends, name of their addresses. That's a record that is kept by us for the future content. Now, file. File, it is what? It is a collection of records. File is a collection of records. Database. Like we have studied in the very first line, database is a collection of all the files in an organization. Okay, so collection of all the files, it is called as database. So all these are very important. The 8 bits together, they form a byte. Collection of byte is known as field. Collection of, then we have a record. Collection of record is known as file, and collection of files is known as a database. You should be knowing and learning the same. On to the next slide. Now we have the troubleshooting tips. What are the troubleshooting tips basically? Detecting the problem and solving it to make a computer system work properly, that is called as troubleshooting. Okay, so troubleshooting is what? Detecting the problem and solving that so that our computer system can work properly, that is called as troubleshooting. So what are the problems that we can face in the troubleshooting? Suppose if your computer is not turning on, so what is the solution for that tip? You can check all the power supply plugs. Okay, you can check whether the monitor switch is on or not. So that might be the reason if your computer is not turning on. Now, second, suppose if your keyboard or mouse is not functioning, then what you should do? You should check to ensure that mouse and keyboard connections are properly done. Okay, check that if your keyboard has not got stuck. Third, suppose if your keyboard is typing in capital letters only, then what you should check? If it is typing in capital letters only, we all know. Check if the shift key has got stuck or the caps lock key is on, because whenever we need to write in capital letters, either we are turning on the caps lock key or we are using shift key plus that particular alphabet. So we should check whether the caps lock key is on or shift key is on. That is why it is continuously typing in the capital letters. Next, suppose if your computer is not responding at all, then what we should do? What is the solution for that? We should close all the open applications, or we can press Ctrl plus Alt plus Delete key. Okay, or we click and select not responding under the application, or we can click on the end task button to solve the problems. So these are the common problems we generally face when we are using a computer. So here I have already given you what are the tips for those problems, what are the solution for those problems. Okay, so with this we have come to the end of the chapter. I hope all of you have understood and went through it properly. Now here is you have a homework. I'm giving you a homework for you people. I'm basically giving you a homework. Let us look at the homework questions. Fill up dash device of a computer is called as computer memory storage. Second, dash memory consists of RAM and ROM. Third, dash memory is a non-volatile memory. Fourth, data is stored in bits and bytes in a computer dash. Fifth, a dash stores pictures in a digital camera. Sixth, speed of an inkjet printer is measured in dash. Seventh, plotter is used to design plotter is used to design cars, ships, airplanes, etc. Eighth, the CPU of a computer consists of dash units. Next is what is the full form of ASCII? Give two examples of plotter. Name two types of computer memory. How many bits can make a byte? What are 3 units of CPU? Name 2 input devices and output devices. So all these questions should be done by you by going through the content and then answering these questions and learning the same. Till then, take care. Bye bye. Stay at home. Thank you.